What's going on YouTube? This is AM Guitar Man. I'm uploading a video for the first time in I don't know how long. And I've been wanting to do this just kind of for fun, and that is talk about movies that I have seen. New movies that I've seen in theaters, just kind of do a little hot take. You could call this a review. Not a very professional one though, sorry. I'm just kind of rambling off the top of my head. Today, I am talking about the new movie from the director Ari Aster. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And that movie is Midsommar. Now, if any of you saw Hereditary last year, I'm sure a lot of you, like me, were very impressed by it because it is not your run-of-the-mill horror movie. It was what my friend likes to call a thinking man's horror movie. It really messes with your head more than just gives you, just shows you stuff to be scared of. Kind of, it puts it in your head instead of just showing it to you. I was very impressed with Hereditary. So when I found out that a new movie was coming from the same director, I was like, I've got to see this. And I'm not even that much of a horror movie fan. I do enjoy them, but I don't usually seek out a lot of horror movies to go watch. So I just got out of the theater maybe an hour ago. After watching Midsommar, and would just like to talk to you about it. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not going to talk much about the story, period. I will start off by saying one of the first contrasts you're going to notice to Hereditary is that Hereditary took place a lot at night, in the dark, inside this really cool house. Midsommar takes place mostly outside, mostly during the day because of where they are. The sun doesn't go down very much in Sweden during the summertime. So it's a lot visually different there just in that aspect. There's a lot of green, a lot of color, some really interesting visual effects. They're not like, Avengers level CG or anything like that, but they're just little tweaks and little things you notice at the edge of the screen that really add to the effect of what the characters are feeling. It is, like I said, it takes place in this little village in Sweden, almost more like a commune. And some of the buildings, I don't know who built the set for this movie, but they're incredible. The buildings, I don't know I'm going to have to do some research and see if this is really what some old Swedish buildings look like, but they look like something from a Tim Burton movie. They looked that surreal. They looked like they would have been at home in The Nightmare Before Christmas. So that was another thing I noticed. The cinematography is just fantastic. It really is. There's a lot of really cool kind of sweeping shots with cameras moving in and out of buildings, moving in and out of, different things. There's a lot of little details going on in the background that you're going to be looking at, whether it is people or things on the walls. If you're like me, when you're watching a movie like this, you're trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening in the story. You're going to be looking at these things for details. Now, this movie, the story, like I said, I'm not going to get too far into it, but it's kind of a typical horror movie story. You've got 5 college students. One of them is a native of this little village. He's going home for the summertime for this festival that only happens once every 90 years. So that in and of itself should set off plenty of alarm bells for our students. But no, they're pretty oblivious. For the most part, I think the actors did a fantastic job. They really did. They all played their parts very believably, very well. Some of the characters do kind of fall into horror movie tropes and stereotypes, but so I don't know. It kind of lets you know early on in the story who's not going to make it to the end credits. Without giving too much away from the story, I will say there wasn't a big twist in this movie like there was in Hereditary. If you watch the trailer for Hereditary and then watch the movie, that first 30 minutes into the movie, you're sitting going, wait, what just happened? Because something something that the trailer implied did not happen, and you realize now would not happen. That didn't happen with Midsommar. I will say I think the story, Midsommar, was a bit more predictable than Hereditary was. Not to say that it is a bad movie. I thought it was a very well done movie, very well made movie. It just like Hereditary, it doesn't scare you with just buckets of blood and gore. It really freaks you out, kind of like by watching the effects that these characters in the story are experiencing. That is where it sets up a lot of its tension. As I believe I've already said, the cinematography in this movie is fantastic. They have a few scenes that I really enjoyed where they found ways to have conversations, to film a conversation between two characters that are in different places of the room with a single camera shot. And stuff like that I find really enjoyable. I find that really creative. The sound in this movie, the sound direction, how it starts from... Some of the sounds can start off as like little, a single or a few notes played on some little woodwind instrument, and then it just grows and it grows and it grows until it's so unsettling. You're just sitting there going, "Oh my God, can something please happen?" That to be said, if you need something happening every minute of every movie, you're not going to enjoy this movie because it is a slow burn. I'll say that. It is a slow burn just like Hereditary was. But that's one of the things I appreciate about it, is it does a good job of building the tension of wondering what is happening and what is going to happen next. There were some things I kind of wish they had elaborated on a little bit more. But all in all, I would say if you enjoy horror movies, if you enjoy what my friend likes to call thinking man horror movies, or the thinking man's horror movies, I highly recommend this one. I would say if I were to give it a score, out of 10, I would say this one would be a 7 out of 10. The only real detracting factor for me was that like I said, it was a little bit more predictable than Hereditary was. There wasn't really a big twist anywhere. So with that being said, this is my first attempt at a movie review. If anybody likes it, if anybody feels the need to comment, if you've seen Midsommar, I'd love to know what you thought about it. And I will try to do more of these movies. I've been wanting to do... I will try to do more of these videos, not these movies. I will try to do more of these videos. I've been wanting to upload more just to, scratch a creative itch, if you want to call it that. I massively enjoy movies. I enjoy movies, music, video games. Those are my 3 favorite things in the world. So if it's just videos of me talking about those things, if you share my opinions, if you don't share my opinions, I would like to hear from you. So leave a comment, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will try, if any of these videos start to get any traction, I will gladly make more of them. So until next time, you guys take care.